Besides acting, obviously, is there something like you're really good at that if there's like a real life tournament, you will definitely pop into the top 5?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question.
Interesting.
I've raced this track 1,000 times in the game. Let me drive it my way.
There's a lot of speed racing movies nowadays, car films, but I dare to say that Gran Turismo is going to be a huge thing because it's about a real story.
Yes.
But it also makes this new era video game storytelling that they're pretty good. So what's your take on this, guys? We have a true story with Top Race.
I think you're right. I think that's the compelling and unique thing about this film. I think that it is just this happy marriage of the race car world, which has had this unbelievable boom in recent years, video games, which have been are cooler than they've ever been before, and this unbelievably emotional story in the center of it that just, I think, makes you dream bigger, have hope, and I think moves people. And I think that combination, hopefully, will get some bums in seats.
It's got a massive heart and it's real. It's unairbrushed action that anyone, whether you're a fan of the game or whether you're just, you want to go with your fat younger son, everyone's going to love it. It's got something for everyone. It's got a huge heart.
Winning and winning. If we can take one of the best video game players in the world from behind their console, put them into real cars, and turn them into a champion, we'll make racing history.
It's the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
Taking it high.
For many years, gamers had to accept the idea that there weren't like high quality video game adaptations, but I think that it's no longer the case. And we're experiencing like a golden age of good video games adaptations. So what do you think it changed to allow this transformation?
I think there's a few things. Like, one of the things, interestingly, is games are now complex enough with their own stories that the game itself can drive the TV show or film. So what used to happen would be you'd be handed a simplistic game world, and then screenplay writers would write a story inside that world. But if you look at Last of Us, the TV show is exactly the same as the game. Like, they just took the story from the game. So what that tells you is the complexity and storytelling in games is increasing to the point where it's like almost on par with high quality TV. So I think that's one element. And then I think also another element is in the period of time, in the sort of 2000s, there were a lot of bad video game films that gave it a bad name. But I think it was because studio politics was working in a way that didn't really guarantee like the best films were getting made. I think there was a political element to it. And now you kind of have the best of both worlds. So like going forward, you'd probably see a lot of good adaptations of video games.
You're not going to be racing against gamers. You guys are legit professional athletes.
Not afraid.
Whoa! I'm gonna push you harder than you have ever been pushed, and I'm gonna prove that you don't have what it takes.
Besides acting, obviously, is there something like you're really good at that if there's like a real life tournament, you will definitely pop into the top 5?
Oh my goodness, that's a good question.
Interesting.
I've done some crazy things in the last 12 months because I did this thing where I did this show where I learned to wingsuit and freedive and climb, and I did pretty well on some of those. So I think maybe freediving or wingsuiting would be my favorite top 2. Yeah. I learned to wingsuit very quickly.
I know that in British Columbia, in Canada, I was 243rd best squash player.
Ooh.
So
I like it.
So that was the height of my squash career.
Nice, I like it.
So I am addicted to squash.
I've just started doing some boxing, and actually, the person that I was training with said I'm quite good on my right. So I'd like to have a go with that.
Cool.
You know, another one also is archery. I really like archery.
And I think for anyone who's at home watching this movie, it's like if you dream big and hard enough, maybe it will come to fruition.
Let me drive it my way.
Come on, stay on it!